Thank you, Chairman Mix. And I also want to thank our Vice Ranking Member Wagner. I'm very pleased to speak today in support of this en bloc and also HR 4785, the Uyghur Policy Act. And I also want to thank my colleagues who spoke in support of this legislation. Before I go on, I also want to add my voice and thoughts and prayers to the McCall family and for speedy recovery for Linda. I want to first thank my friend and chair of the Asia Subcommittee, Ami Bera, for partnering with me on this initiative, and to the chair and ranking member for bringing this measure forward. On issues like this, bipartisan agreement and cooperation is essential. The Uyghur Policy Act comes at an important time as the PRC continues to carry out a state-sponsored genocide against the Uyghur people and other ethnic minority groups in Xinjiang and intimidate the rest of the world into compliance. Horrific reports on the ground detail forced sterilization, slavery, torture, brainwashing, and gang rape in detention camps. This is not an issue that we will resolve in the short term. I can assure you that Xi Jinping is not embracing short-term thinking, and neither should we. We must look forward and implement strategic policies that would prepare this country and its institutions for prolonged pressure on the PRC for its human rights abuses and crimes against humanity. The Uyghur Policy Act addresses several shortcomings in our capacity to respond to the genocide in Xinjiang, authorizing the State Department to appoint a special coordinator for Uyghur issues will enable our government to consolidate diplomatic strategy and policy for an issue that has been spread out across the entire department. Mandating Uyghur language instruction at the Foreign Service Institute and a Uyghur fluent officer to be posted at one of our Mission China locations will enable operations on the ground to more effectively respond to Uyghur issues. Further, allocating funding support for Uyghur human rights activists, and directing U.S. Agency for Global Media to disseminate news and information concerning Uyghurs and other groups in Xinjiang will help leverage our soft power to raise international consciousness around these issues and prompt international action. Where this is a long-term issue, time is not on our side. Every day, the PRC continues to carry out its genocide and ethnic cleansing campaign in Xinjiang to wipe Uyghurs and other ethnic minorities off the face of the earth. We must act now, and I urge my colleagues to support this measure in markup and support its consideration on the House floor. I also want to thank my friend, Congressman Perry of Pennsylvania, for offering this amendment number 358 and working with my team to negotiate an agreeable text. This amendment is a good effort to ensure that the Special Coordinator for Uyghur Issues position authorized in the Uyghur Policy Act is kept under congressional oversight authority in fulfilling its duties. Requiring the reauthorization by Congress of this important position will ensure that Congress can continue to monitor and modify the mission of the Special Coordinator as the situation in Xinjiang and with Uyghur issues globally continue to develop. And I also praise Mr. Perry for including a report requirement from the Secretary of State 180 days after enactment if a special coordinator has not yet been designated. Once again, I urge my colleagues to support this important measure and its immediate consideration on the House floor. Thank you, and I yield back.